I can't do though, and I can talk to you and chat. Like remember how you say if you live it publicly, you break up publicly. Yeah, so it's okay. See, I can deal with that though.
I had the tit for tat, and I'm gonna.
That's a good.
Give it to you. So
interesting. Sherelle.
Did you do it because strictly you just wanted to get back at him, or you really just?
What's up, guys? It's your girl Rivah, and I am back again with another video. So recently, former NFL star Chad Ochocinco and his girlfriend, we know her as a realtor on the TV show Selling Tampa. She recently announced that the two of them were no longer together in a social media post. So the post reads, "Chad and I are no longer together. Please stop tagging us. He is a free man, ladies." And Chad Ochocinco also screenshotted that post that she put on social media and also put it on his Instagram story. Now, apparently there was a woman in the comment section who, after she saw Sherelle Rosado, which is Chad Ochocinco's now ex-fiance's post on social media, she commented and she said, "Thanks, sis. I will kindly slide in his DMs." To which Sherelle responded and said, "LOL, hope you don't catch anything, sis." Now, this is my problem. Okay, this is my problem. First things first, before we get into any of the nitty gritty, my issue with this situation is, again, this is no shade to anybody, but in my personal opinion, I find it very corny when you break out of a relationship, especially so fresh. And, you were giddy, you were happy when Chad Ochocinco, was in a relationship with you and went on one knee and decided to propose to you. Everything was all glitz and glamour. There was so much love in the air during that time. What I hate to see is that, again, especially so fresh after the breakup happens, that people come to the internet and try to diminish, demean, or disrespect their partner as if there was never any love there, right? And this is something that we commonly see women do. It is not common for men to get on social media and berate their ex-girlfriends, ex-wives, baby mamas, just on a whim, right? If you see a man doing that, we all know that that does not represent the majority. But oftentimes, way too often, we commonly see women do this, right? They come on social media, they have so much stuff to say, they want to talk about them in a horrible way. In this case, she's implying that he has some kind of infection or whatever the case is. Like, that's just very distasteful, very disrespectful. Very. And to me, it's just corny. Again, this is just my personal opinion. I just find it very corny. Now, the two of them do have a child together. As I said before, they were engaged. And, recently, before this whole announcement of the breakup, Sherelle went on her podcast and she actually spoke about the beginning of her relationship with Chad. And that basically she cheated on her ex-husband with Chad.
When I was younger, I used to have the tit for tat mentality, and I cheated on my ex-husband with Chad.
So she made sure to say that, she cheated on her ex-husband with Chad, but she wouldn't even use the word or term cheated because she was mentally checked out of the relationship.
I can't say cheat because I mentally checked out.
I understand. So you were almost done with that relationship.
I was done.
So you were done.
I was mentally checked out.
Now, the reason why I thought it was important to bring that up in this context is because, again, that's a very recent podcast episode that she had in which she started to dive in. And normally, whenever you see women start to talk too much about the relationship when they never talked about it before, you know that is, kind of a signal that things are on the decline, right? Once they start being very free of intricate information, that's when you can tell that there's going to be a dip in the current relationship that they're in. And what I thought was very interesting was that, she made sure to say that she checked out, but also she was speaking as out of a place of, regret that she decided to make that decision, as well as she started talking about the fact that, you know, she's not happy that her ex-husband and her have the tumultuous relationship that they have based off of her actions.
If I would go back, I probably wouldn't have did what I did, but it happened. I can't go back and change it.
Does that affect your relationship now?
With us?
Yeah.
Of course. But it does affect my ex-husband and our relationship. We do have a child together, and
So we are co-parenting.
co-parenting, it does affect a lot. We don't communicate at all.
Yeah.
I think it's very important that we talk about this, because just that, you know, everybody focused when that clip went viral on social media that Sherelle stated that she cheated on her ex-husband. You know, a lot of people focused on that aspect of the conversation, but to listen further in the conversation and hear again the regret of what she did to her ex-husband and how she's, you know, not happy of the state of their relationship, you know, currently, I think it's very important to, again, we already seen it with the Tia situation. We see it with the Erica Mena situation. Like, we have to be honest with women that a lot of these women that step out thinking that the grass is going to be greener on the other side, right? Thinking that they are making the best decision, thinking that, oh, you know, I'm going to leave my ex and I'm going to get with somebody who's better, richer, more famous, has more resources, and that they're ultimately going to be happier. I think, again, this is something that a lot of women need to understand. When you take that leap out there, and again, this is my opinion, you have to be ready to be by yourself. What I mean by that is you have to know that if you are stepping out of your relationship with this person who is committed to you, who's loving you, who's protecting you, who's leading you, who's guiding you, and you are deciding that I am now going to lead, guide, cover, and protect myself. When you step out of shore to unshore, that has to be a risk that you are willing to take. A lot of women think halfway through, right? They think of the glitz and the glamour and how amazing everything could be, but they never think of the reality of the situation of, what if that situation doesn't work out? What if, you know, I go into that situation and what I'm dealing with in this situation, what if it gets 100 times worse with this person that I don't know?
Us as women, we'll make decisions because we're emotional.
I think these are conversations that are very vital, because women need to have the ability to think of these things. And a lot of women don't even think of these things because they have their homegirls and their friends in their ear talking like, yeah, girl, you know, do you? Okay, well, you know, he finer than him anyway. Well, girl, he got more money than him anyway, so you might as well go over there. Women need that reality check like, girl, you tripping. Girl, okay. I understand that this might not have been the best situation, but y'all need to work through it. This is your husband. Y'all need to figure things out. She made mention that, you know, the reason why she, quote unquote, mentally checked out of her relationship and got into a relationship with Chad was because she was in a tit for tat mentality. So that would allude to the fact that maybe her ex-husband possibly stepped out of the relationship and cheated on her.
I've been in a place where I've been cheated on.
What I find interesting about that situation is, you know, women are always upset when a man cheats, but when they cheat, they always have certain things that they can blame it on, so it doesn't make them look like the bad guy. And before I continue, I don't want this conversation to get twisted, right? Before the whole podcast interview, and even before her coming on social media and talking about, oh, you know, make sure you don't catch nothing, sis, I thought that they were a beautiful couple, okay? I thought they were nice together. I loved the comedic space between the two of them when they would joke on social media, and it seemed like a very promising relationship, right? And it still could be. Maybe they can fix it. Maybe they can mend things. I'm not sure. But you see, when she posted what she posted on social media about the ex-husband,
I cheated on my ex-husband with Chad.
Regardless, what I notice is that when women step out or cheat in relationships, they always have like a clutch, right? And so she's like, well, I wouldn't say I cheated because I mentally checked out of the relationship. And I gotta be honest, there is truth to the fact that, you know, people can be in relationships and long-standing relationships and they are no longer emotionally or even physically, right, intimate or connected with one another. And so the relationship is basically over and the two people are just maintaining and living in the same household, whether it's for the sake of the kids or, you know, trying to save face within your community, whatever the space is. So I'm not going to act like I don't understand what she says or where she's coming from when she states that. However, there is a big drastic difference when a woman steps out in a relationship and when a man does.
I had the tit for tat, and I'm gonna
That's a good
give it to you. So
interesting, Sherelle.
Did you do it because strictly you just wanted to get back at him, or you really just?
I have to be honest. And I know a lot of people are going to be upset about it. Oh, that's hypocritical, Rivah. How could you say that? You know, men shouldn't step out in relationships either. And, you know, it's a double standard. But in reality, there is a double standard, right? A woman cannot do what a man does and still be a lady. And we all know that. But also because of our emotional capacity, right? When a woman steps out into a different relationship and again she moves on and is emotionally connected to another person and then that leads into intimacy. The problem that comes up is that the woman who is in this relationship and is doing these acts is going to have now trust issues within her relationship. Think about that. She is now having these thoughts or feelings within her relationship in regards to her man because of the actions that she did. Now she's in shaky waters. Now it's like kind of like an insecure place. And again, I find it ironic that she decided to, you know, put him on blast on social media and say, make sure you don't catch anything, sis. But you just did a podcast blatantly saying that you cheated on your spouse. And so if you would have gotten negative backlash on people saying, oh, you know, Chad needs to be careful and make sure he don't catch nothing, would that be fair? Would that be a fair and equal assessment since that was your assessment about Chad now, based off of whatever happened between the two of you? A lot of women will, you know, have these spaces within their relationship and they will just put all the blame on the other person. Oh, well, you know, well, he did it first. And so I did my get back and, you know, that's what I did. And it wasn't really cheating. Like there's kind of excuses for the actions instead of just 100% standing 10 toes down. Now, again, when I say that women will have this, you know, underlying sense of a distrust or dishonesty within their relationship based on their own actions. I saw recently that Chad, he was on a Night Talk with Shannon Sharp, and he was actually talking about an incident where he was at a restaurant talking to the waitress and went off just based off of him talking to the waitress.
I mean, right?
Yes.
And I'm eating my food. Got my sunglasses sitting on my head.
Right.
The sunglasses fall by accident, and I put them back up real fast. And the waitress was in front of me. Real.
Who
Think somebody sitting at, she say, man, who in the is that sitting in front of you? I know you're not playing with me.
Now, again, this underlying sense of insecurity or instability within the relationship is all because of you leading into the relationship with your own thoughts or your own feelings, or basically, I know how he is because I know how he moved with me. Right? Or because I know what I did, and so now since I know what I did, there's a sense of insecurity within that space. And again, I have to keep saying ironically because, you know, it's like the pot calling the kettle black. You're mad at him for doing something that you did. And I think, and this might sound crazy, I know a lot of women might not agree with me, but I think that if you are a woman who you stepped out of your relationship before because you were not emotionally connected to that person or whatever the case was, and you were going tit for tat, I think evolution and growth doesn't always mean that you 100% just run for the hills. I think sometimes evolution and growth is, I remember, you know, and this is me speaking from her point of view, it should be, you remember when you were in that position. And so now you need to get a deeper understanding from his true emotions or feelings so that you can move forward in whatever direction. I'm not saying, you know, oh, I'm forcing you to stay and y'all should be there and work it out. I'm not saying that, but I think that in true evolution and true growth, it would take you to try to figure out what was this mental state that caused this action to happen, if it happened. Because if you accused him of something before, this could be something that's also accusatory and it never really happened. Unless it did. I don't know. We're going to find out. But I think that women should take more time to communicate. I said it before in a previous video. I'm going to say it again. You know, it is so vital to understand your counterpart, understand your man, understand his mindset. If you know that this person is, again, leading you, loving you, guiding you, protecting you, covering you, and something kind of off comes up, you need to have a conversation. Have the conversation. See where his mind is. See what's going on. Dig deeper. And also check yourself. Are you tripping? Have you dropped the ball? Have you been moving in a different way? Are you treating him disrespectfully? Are you starting to get a little riled? What's going on? Not every time do you need to just run for the hills, because a lot of times women run out of relationships and they're not realizing that they're in a space of pivotal growth for themselves. Instead of you just, flying off the handle and cussing and screaming, now you just grab your stuff and leave, but you're still not solving the problem or getting to the root of the problem, which is very necessary. Especially if you say you want to be a wife, okay, and you say you want to be married, you need to figure out effective communication and how to get to the root of problems and how not to be reactive. Very vital. I'd like to know what you guys think about this in the comment section down below. I would love to hear you guys' opinions on this video. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And I will see you guys in the next one. Love you.